The city of Aurelia glimmered under twin suns, its crystal towers reflecting light like 1,000 tiny stars. Floating gardens drifted above wide streets, their colors shifting with the angle of the sun. The city was alive, filled with beings of many forms and colors, all moving gracefully in harmony. In the middle of this beauty, a palace rose higher than any other building. It was a palace of silver and glass, a place where the royal family lived, ruled, and protected their people. Princess Lysera walked through the palace gardens, her silk gown brushing against the soft, glowing grass. Her long hair shimmered in the sunlight, and her eyes reflected both excitement and worry. Today was her wedding day. She was about to marry a human named Kale. The union had surprised many in Aurelia. Humans were rare in this part of the galaxy, and Kale's past was unknown. Yet Lysera had chosen him. His simplicity, his kindness, and his calm confidence had won her heart. The wedding ceremony was held in the palace's grand hall. Beings from across the planets had come to witness the union. They had expected a man of high rank, perhaps someone trained in politics or war. But Kale had appeared in plain clothes, his presence quiet yet steady. He did not boast or draw attention. He simply stood beside Lysera, holding her hand, and smiled. As the ceremony began, Lysera's heart raced. She could hear the soft hum of energy fields that kept the palace safe, and the whispers of the crowd filled the hall. Kale's grip was firm, his warmth calming her. When they exchanged vows, his words were simple but full of meaning. "I promise to stand by you," he said. "Not for power or glory, but for love and for life." The crowd murmured in surprise. They were not used to such humility from someone marrying a princess, yet there was no shame in it. Instead, many of the elders nodded quietly, sensing a strength beneath his calm exterior. After the ceremony, the palace gardens became a place of celebration. Music floated through the air and beings of every shape danced together. Lysera laughed as Kale joined her, trying awkwardly to match the flowing movements of alien dance. He stumbled a few times and she found it charming. To her, he was human in the best possible way, not bound by alien expectations, not performing for others, just being himself. Days passed, and life settled into a new rhythm. Lysera found joy in simple moments. Kyle helping her tend the floating gardens, sharing meals under the stars, and asking questions about Aurelia that no one else seemed curious about. He was interested in everything, not for politics, not for ambition, but for understanding. Yet small things began to catch her attention. Kyle seemed unusually aware of his surroundings. If a servant dropped a tray, he would move before it fell. If a bird flew too close to the palace walls, his hand would flick subtly, as if guiding it away. Once while walking in the gardens, Lysera noticed him quietly scanning the crowd, his eyes sharp and calculating. When she asked why, he only smiled. "Just being careful," he said. Lysera did not press him. She thought perhaps it was a habit, a human instinct, or maybe just his way of protecting her. She loved him all the same. One morning, while Lysera walked along a floating pathway lined with luminous flowers, Kale spoke quietly. "I hear whispers, Lysera. Not from the palace, but from beyond." "What do you mean?" she asked, her curiosity piqued. "Some factions are not happy with the union," he said. "The exiled prince still has followers. They may try to challenge us." Lysera's heart skipped a beat. She had heard stories of rebellions and court conspiracies, but she had never expected danger to reach them so soon. "But the palace is protected," she said. Kale nodded. "Yes, but protection alone is not enough. We must be ready." She looked at him, puzzled. "You speak as if you know how to fight them." He smiled faintly. "I know how to survive." The first sign of danger came during a celebration in the central square. The square was filled with beings from neighboring planets, all eager to witness the harmony of Aurelia. Lysera and Kale stood on a raised platform, watching performers weave through the crowd with light and sound. Suddenly, a loud explosion shook the air. Smoke rose near the palace gates and chaos erupted. Guards ran in all directions trying to contain the attack. Creatures with advanced weapons and strange devices appeared from hidden paths. Lysera froze, fear gripping her. She had never seen violence so close. Kale's hand went to her waist, steadying her. "Stay calm," he said softly, his eyes scanning the attackers. His voice had a strange authority, not loud or commanding, but firm. "Move behind me." Before Lysera could react, Kale reached for something hidden beneath his cloak. A faint glow appeared as he drew a long, sleek sword. Its edges shimmered with energy and it hummed with power. Lysra gasped. She had never imagined he carried a weapon, let alone one so advanced. Kale moved forward, his steps precise and confident. In moments, he deflected the attacker's weapons, striking with speed and skill that seemed almost unreal. Each motion was deliberate yet fluid. It was as if he had anticipated every attack before it happened. Lysra watched in disbelief. Her simple husband was anything but simple. He was a warrior, trained beyond anything she had ever seen. He fought not for glory but to protect her, and the palace and the people around them. The attackers faltered, their confidence shaken. Guards regained courage, inspired by Kale's mastery. Together they pushed the intruders back, securing the square. Within minutes, the danger had passed. The crowd cheered, but their eyes were filled with awe and fear. Kale turned to Lysra, his sword still glowing softly. "Are you hurt?" he asked. "No, I'm fine," she said, her voice trembling. "Kyle, who are you really?" He sheathed the sword, its glow disappearing. His expression was calm, almost apologetic. "I am still the man you married," he said. "But I am also someone who has lived in worlds where survival is the only law. I have skills I chose not to reveal until now. I did not want to scare you, Lysra. I wanted to live simply with you." Lysra's mind raced. The man she thought she knew, the gentle, humble human, was a warrior of unimaginable skill. Yet standing before her, he still looked ordinary. Still looked human. She felt a mixture of fear, awe, and something else. Admiration. That night, in their private garden, Lysra sat beside Kyle. The stars above reflected the glow of the floating gardens. "I thought I knew you," she whispered. "You do," he said softly. "You know the part that matters most. But how can someone be so ordinary and so extraordinary at the same time?" Kale smiled. "Humans are full of contradictions. We can be simple in our hearts but capable of great deeds. Sometimes the greatest strength is hidden behind a quiet life." Lysra reached for his hand, feeling the warmth and steadiness that had always drawn her to him. I don't know what to say," she admitted. "You don't need to say anything," Kyle said. "Just trust me. And remember, danger may come again, but we will face it together." Days passed, and the city slowly returned to its calm routine. But Lysra could not stop thinking about what she had seen. Kale's skill, his confidence, his hidden past, it all changed the way she saw him. She realized that in a universe full of advanced aliens, humans could be underestimated. Their courage, adaptability, and cleverness could make them more than equal. Even among the most sophisticated civilizations, one evening, as they walked along the palace terrace, Lysra glanced at Kyle. I am proud to be your wife," she said quietly. Kale looked at her, his expression serious but gentle. "And I am proud to be your husband, always." The stars above twinkled, and the city of Aurelia seemed peaceful again. Yet in the shadows beyond the walls, whispers of rebellion still lingered. Lysra knew the danger was not gone. But she also knew something else. Her husband, the seemingly simple human, was someone the universe should never underestimate. And with that thought, a quiet sense of hope settled in her heart. The city of Aurelia had returned to its usual rhythm, but the air was tense. The attack on the royal square had left the population shaken, and the palace had increased security. Floating guards patrolled the gardens, and energy shields flickered quietly around the palace gates. Yet despite the visible precautions, Princess Lysra could not shake the feeling that the danger was not over. Kale walked beside her in the palace gardens, his expression calm but focused. He had returned to his usual demeanor, modest, kind, and unassuming, but Lysra now knew there was more beneath the surface. The quiet strength she had seen during the attack had left a deep impression. "You seem tense," Kyle said, noticing her concern. "I am," Lysra admitted. "The rebels, they were more skilled than I thought. Are they still a threat?" Kale paused, looking out at the horizon where the twin suns had begun to set. "Yes," he said, "and not just them. There are others who wish to challenge the throne. We must be ready, not just with weapons, but with strategy. The palace cannot defend itself alone." Lysra nodded slowly. "Then teach me," she said. "I want to help. I want to protect our people." "And you," Kyle smiled faintly. "You already protect me in ways you may not realize. But yes, you can learn to defend yourself. And more importantly, You can learn to see the world as it really is. The next days were filled with training. Kale began with small lessons: how to move quietly, how to observe surroundings carefully, how to react quickly to threats. Lysera struggled at first, but Kale was patient. He praised her successes and corrected her mistakes with gentle firmness. Slowly, she discovered a resilience within herself she had never known. "You're learning faster than I expected," Kale said one evening as they practiced in the palace courtyard. "I want to protect you," Lysera replied, determination shining in her eyes. "And our people. I can't just be a princess sitting in a palace. I must do something," Kale nodded. "That is the human spirit, courage combined with curiosity. It is what makes humans capable of remarkable things." Meanwhile, Kale had been gathering intelligence. He communicated with a hidden human task force stationed on a nearby planet, sharing information about the rebels' movements and strategies. The humans were skilled in tactics and technology, and their guidance helped Kale prepare Aurelia for the challenges ahead. One night, Kale and Lysera stood on the palace terrace, looking at the stars. "The rebels will strike again," Kale said, "and this time they will come prepared." Lysera shivered. "Then we must be ready too. We cannot let them harm anyone." Kyle took her hand, holding it firmly. "We will face them together, and when the time comes, you will see just how powerful humans can be when we work as one." The day of the second attack arrived sooner than expected. The palace sensors detected unusual activity near the outer gates. Kale moved quickly, summoning the human allies to coordinate with the palace defense. Lysera watched as he issued commands, his mind analyzing every detail with precision. His calm presence inspired confidence in the alien guards, who had initially doubted his abilities. As the first wave of rebels appeared, Kyle drew his sword once more. Its energy shimmered brilliantly in the sunlight. Lysera felt her heart pound, not with fear, but with admiration. She now understood the true extent of his skills. The rebels advanced, but Kale and his allies were ready. Using a combination of human ingenuity and alien technology, they created traps and barriers that slowed the attackers. Kale moved through the battlefield with fluid precision, neutralizing threats with minimal effort but maximum impact. His actions were strategic, not reckless. Each move was calculated, demonstrating the unique way humans could combine creativity, courage, and adaptability. Lysera found herself moving alongside him, using the techniques he had taught her. She defended herself and assisted the palace guards, discovering a confidence she had never known. The humans' approach to the battle, thinking outside the expected patterns, gave them an advantage that even the advanced aliens struggled to anticipate. The rebels faltered, confusion spreading among their ranks. Kale's leadership, combined with the human allies' technology and the palace guards' discipline, turned the tide. Within hours, the attackers were either captured or forced to retreat. The city square, once filled with chaos, now stood calm and silent. Lysera looked around at the aftermath. The palace had been protected, the people were safe, and the rebels had been defeated. She turned to Kale, seeing him in a new light. He was still the humble man she had married, but now she understood the depth of his courage and skill. "You did it," she said softly. "You saved everyone." Kale shook his head. "We did it. Humans, aliens, and you. Everyone played a part. This is how strength truly works. It is not just about power, but about unity and clever thinking." Lysera smiled, a mixture of pride and relief washing over her. "I understand now. Humans may seem ordinary, but we are capable of extraordinary things." Kyle looked at her, his eyes calm and serious. "Exactly. And never forget that. Sometimes the greatest heroes are those who appear simple, who do not seek glory but act because it is right." The royal council, who had once questioned Kale's worthiness, now approached him with respect. They recognized the value of his actions. Not only had he protected the princess and the palace, but he had also demonstrated that humans could be trusted allies, capable of remarkable courage and intelligence. In the following days, Aurelia began to rebuild and strengthen its defenses. Lysera worked alongside Kale, learning not only to fight but also to plan, to anticipate threats, and to understand the human way of thinking. Together, they became a symbol of unity between humans and aliens, a living example that cooperation could overcome even the greatest challenges. One evening, as they walked through the palace gardens, Lysera turned to Kale. I never imagined that my husband could be a hero in ways I could not even dream of. Kale smiled gently. And I never imagined that my life could be so full of love and purpose. You remind me why it is worth living simply, even when the universe is full of danger. They walked in silence, hand in hand, surrounded by the glowing gardens and the distant hum of the city. Lysera felt a new sense of hope. She knew that together, they could face anything. The humans' courage and adaptability, combined with the aliens' advanced technology and wisdom, had proven that even the greatest challenges could be overcome. As the twin suns set behind the crystal towers, Lysera realized something profound. Humans were often underestimated, seen as ordinary or fragile, yet they possessed a resilience and creativity that could change the fate of worlds. And Kale, her husband, her partner, her hero, was living proof of that truth. The city of Aurelia glimmered in the fading light, peaceful once more. But Lysera knew that vigilance was necessary. The universe was vast, full of both wonder and danger, yet with Kale by her side she no longer feared what the future might bring. She had learned that true strength was not just in skill or power, but in courage, intelligence, and the willingness to act for what was right. And in that moment, Lysera understood something even deeper. The human spirit, quiet, humble, and often underestimated, could shine brighter than the most advanced alien technology. It could protect, inspire, and change the course of history itself. Lysera looked at Kale, her heart full of admiration and love. "We will face whatever comes next," she said softly. Kale nodded, his hand tightening around hers. "Together," he said. "Always together." The stars above Aurelia twinkled in silent agreement, and the palace stood as a beacon of hope and unity. The humans and aliens, working side by side, had proven that no matter how ordinary one might seem, greatness could be found in courage, wisdom, and the strength to protect what is truly important. And with that, a new chapter began, one where humans and aliens would face the universe together, stronger than ever, guided by the quiet but extraordinary power of the human heart.